A mother was cleaning out a garage in her house, and she ran into some stuff that belonged to her 16-year-old. I guess it was some athletic equipment, stuff like that. So she calls out to him, and he's in the kitchen. Can you come and help me with this stuff? Yeah, sure. I'll be there in a minute. A little bit of time goes by, no response. So the mother tries again. Are you going to help me with this stuff or not? Teenager again answers, yeah, just give me a minute. She waits some more. Still no response. So she reaches out a third time and then quits and lets it go. The next day, sort of about the same time, the teenager comes up to her and says, Mom, can you drive me over to my girlfriend's house? We need to do some homework stuff together. Do you remember where you were about this time yesterday? And the teenager looks at her like, no, how can I remember stuff like that? And the mother says, wait a minute, don't you go to school every day? At least you're supposed to go to school every day? You mean they don't teach you how to remember stuff in school? The teenager looks at her like, I don't know where this is going. This is pretty ridiculous. He says, Mom, I just want you to drive me over to my girlfriend's house, okay? So Mom doesn't say anything for a minute or two. And then she says, if I was in the garage and you were in the kitchen and I hollered out to you, could you hear me? The teenager says, yeah, why would you ask that? She says, okay, since you don't remember things very well, can I refresh your memory? Were you not about this time yesterday in the kitchen? Was I not out in the garage trying to clean up some stuff? And I reached out to you because I wanted something from you. Did you give it to me? Teenager now is beginning to realize he's really up against the wall. So Mom takes another minute or two and then says, okay, I asked something from you yesterday. You didn't give it to me. Today you're asking for something from me. I'm not going to give it to you either. That makes us even. It's 1-to-1. So starting tomorrow, we'll both be at the score of 1-to-1, and we'll see how it goes. And she walks away. This is called taking your power back from your teenager. Second example. The mother's working, the mother's busy at work, and it's getting on in the afternoon. It's about 3:30, getting closer to quitting time. And her kids have just gotten home from school. I believe they were 15 and 13 back then. And she gets a frantic call. Mom, you got to come right away. Something really bad has happened. We need you to come right away. So Mom says, well, I can't leave work. I got to work here so I can pay the rent on the house and buy you clothes to go to school with and buy some food so you can eat every day. So you all just chill until I get there, and then we'll see what's happening. So Mom gets home after she finishes work, and what she finds out is that the uproar was caused by the fact that her two teenagers share a computer, only on this particular day, one of the teenagers gave the password to the computer away to some friends, and that created the instant uproar. So Mom sat there and listened to them, back and forth, who was at fault, blah, blah, blah. And she just looks, she doesn't say anything. Finally, the teenagers run out of steam. And working with teenagers, you'll find that sometimes using silence can really be a help, especially if you have teenagers in a group, because teenagers really can't handle silence. So anyway, after they get all through, she waits a couple of minutes and she says, anything else you want to tell me? And then one of them starts up again for a little bit, but they're pretty much done. So she waits until it's very clear that they really have nothing to say. She gets up and she walks around a little bit. She says, "You know what? This whole thing is my fault. I really must apologize to y'all. When I bought that computer, I forgot to read the part of the instructions that talk about what should happen when two teenagers share a computer. I forgot to read the part of the instructions that say, when that's the situation, before the computer can be used, the teenagers need to write out a whole list of rules for how the computer is to be shared. And they also need to write out a list of rules for consequences if there are violations of the rules in sharing the computer. And I really forgot to read that in the instruction when I brought the computer home. So this whole thing's on me. I really apologize." And so, the computer will disappear until you present me with a written list signed by both of you of what the rules will be for using the computer. And you also present me with a list of the consequences for when the rules have been broken. And she walks away. This is called not giving your power away to teenagers. Okay, so that's 2 examples. Let me go back real briefly how you can get involved if you're interested in going further with this. You go to gotteenagers.com. You read what is there. If you want to sign up, you will get the training video. You will get a list of instructions about how to ask questions. That's pretty important because this is communication. It's not therapy. In order to ask questions directly, you have to go back to what did the teenager say and do? What did you say and do? And then you start practicing after you've pretty much digested the training type. And when you start having a problem, like you almost surely will, you ask questions, and I will respond by mostly asking you, what principle were you following when you were doing that? Stuff like that. That's the way you learn this thing. So I hope to see you down the road. You've been a great audience. Thank you for not asking any questions that I couldn't answer. And hopefully I'll see you.